matchup. Okay.
Oh yeah, so I've seen
Yeah.
he went against Hydra at the NJIT HDR side event that they had, and for some reason he did not want to play the Spaces matchup. Hydra told me he just ended up going Roy. He did pull out Fox for probably one match. Don't know how that went. Obviously, I see right here. He's not gonna do that Spaces matchup against Papaya here, but I mean, Roy in this game still pretty cracked.
Right.
Has a really strong juggle game from what I've seen.
There are very few bad characters in this game, in my opinion. I mean, there are some who I feel like need to be tuned up a little bit, but we're not going to get into the personal opinions of me and the commentator here. I'm just saying, you know, not everybody is on the same playing field for sure. And Roy, definitely up there. I messed around with his Roy a little bit. Definitely feels like some sort of weird cracked combination of how he is in Ultimate and Melee. Like, you know, he's got those juggling tools like he would have in this game, but just not as much of a wet noodle as he would have in Melee. Like, he feels like Melee Roy if they fixed Melee Roy a little bit, if that makes any sense. So I'm not at all surprised to see him go Roy against the Space Animal here, is avoiding doing the spacey ditto. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw the attempt right there. I don't know if he was going for a multi-shine. I don't know if he was just going to go for that lingering dare hitbox that just lasts for a century with Falco. But either way, Max is able to bring it back, even things back out as we start this game one. And just a lot of aggression coming out from both these players. Okay, off stage, yeah, you're dead. Roy, despite still getting improvements in this game, as you could say, still has a very exploitable recovery.
Yeah. Even with like being able to up B out of air dodges like you can in like games like Rivals per se, it doesn't matter if your recovery, you know, spawned from the toilet in New York across the water right there. It just ain't gonna work, man. Trying to cook this bird like they do in the hot dogs across the river right now. My goodness. But looking like Papaya is looking like a little bit more practiced of a Falco that we got out here. We're seeing a lot of these laser nairs. You know how it is in the mid-range against this character, the impression session. If you do parry a projectile, thank you, I couldn't think of the P word for some reason, in this game, it does reflect it. Kind of like how power shielding reflects them in Melee for sure, but it does it the ultimate way instead. So that's going to be crucial against a character like Falco, especially at a high level, and Max is showing why he is one of those high-level players right now, already getting back up in stocks against Papaya right now. But just as I say that, dead.
The beauty about watching a game that, you know, like, you're still fairly new to and just commentating for the first time is that it gives you those, like, butterflies when you see something that you would probably never expect to happen in any other Smash game. Like, see that down tilt just drag it back in so Max would get the follow-up and get the stop with it. Insane. And then you see Papaya respond back with a dash attack into a dare. Like, these are things that aren't as common anymore, but like when you see them, it really does make you you know, feel a little bit of happiness. At least for me.
No, I get that. It's definitely the kind of thing that brings a lot of people from different sects of the community together for sure, as well as opening eyes to other people as well. And we got the opportunity to do that right now.
Yeah.
Especially at a place like this, like Meteor, which I think is probably the biggest HDR regional that's pretty much existed so far, if I'm not mistaken. But right now, it's looking like Papaya is slowly but surely bringing this back. Beautiful timing out of disadvantage of the get-up attack right there. That was a perfect example of how it's not only about the option you pick, it's about how you time it. And that's crucial in a game like this, where tech chase scenarios are way more prevalent and way more common. Being able to time get-up attacks properly.
Right, and you see Max keeping this advantage state, looking real poised right now, looking really clean. However, all it takes is one shine to set up for the back air, and that is going to be Max down to his final stock. However, one swing of the sword could definitely seal the stock off the Falco.
It's crazy how this character works, as the back air is going to take the stock off the top. It's crazy how the Space Animals work with the buffer system as well. On top of that, you know, of course, because like they're designed more like their Melee counterparts. But a big fact of Melee is that the game has pretty much zero input buffering, which means if you want to do a frame perfect input, that means you are frame perfect. In this game, not so much. It's a little different. That's why the characters are a little bit more accessible, especially Falco, in my humble opinion. So stuff like multi-shining is easier, as well as getting off some of these crazy shine combos on top of it, as the beautiful laser to the up tilt going to do it right there, trying to run in with the nair, keep the pressure going as this dead even game continues between these two. Max doing a wonderful job playing at the Y-axis right now to get on the platforms and just avoid those lasers. Doing a good job eating them as well to maintain that neutral state.
Bad positioning right there for Max, but apparently going to make it back on stage safely. This is looking really bad right now for Papaya as he's at the advanced state. However, he's going to make up for it with the grab. Tries to go for the ledge hog, but not going to be enough to take the stock with the dare, and the back air does not convert.
Oh, he had that. That was a kill confirm. He just missed the back air. Okay. Oh my god, that was such a horrible flub, and Papaya might lose the game for it. Now Max just putting that pressure on the platform again. Falco not going to be able to get much off a grab there with a forward throw. Beautiful. That was tragic.
What a chase.
That was tragic. He DI'd away, but he he didn't like think about his drift on the way back down. Now he just wasn't able to react quick enough, I think was what the situation is, what happened to Max right there, if I'm not mistaken, because he DI'd away and there was no true follow-ups off of the shine.
No, yeah.
But then he just kind of started drifting in, and Falco can just kind of jump up and back air you for that safe as hell. So.
And Papaya puts himself on the board. That is game
Papaya,
one
Papaya,
going to him.
Papaya.
That is game one going to Papaya. Max, a little bit shook it by that one. I mean, Max has been one of those players that has been grinding for a minute. And
3, 2, 1, go!
However,
Yeah.
oh. I was gonna say, despite Papaya getting the game over Max with Falco, I guess not too confident in the matchup. Maybe worried that Max may have adapted and knows what to do against Falco. So gonna transition on to Sephiroth, which is also a character that has have exponential growth in this game. Like, character's faster, the moves are better. I mean, they work a lot quicker, less lag in the options that Sephiroth has. It's practically like he has one winged angel at all times, but not really.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I have not really seen Sephiroth too much in this game, personally. I really don't know too much about him. Roy is definitely the one. I would imagine that Roy would be able to rush down a character like Sephiroth pretty easily, but I literally don't know too much of what they've changed about Sephiroth. This is another thing that I was talking about before we even got on the mic here, is that the game is so new, and even though I've played the game so much already, there's so many characters that I just haven't played yet and haven't seen and don't know nothing about. I remember when I played Zucchini in Impact and I played as Meta Knight, and Meta Knight just started glowing halfway through, and I didn't know about the 50% Accelerado that he has.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, some of these characters get something from their game that just makes them, like, I mean, it's paying homage to the respective games. Like, you know, Smash not really known to give too much put too much details into some of these characters. But HDR, you know, the devs have put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making these characters do and have the animations that you see here today. And this is why you are seeing right now Max Ketchum rocking with the Roy right now, putting out that work, definitely doing a lot better against the Sephiroth than he was against Falco, as he's trying to extend his lead a bit further. But let's see how one winged angel is different in this game that can make Sephiroth even more of a menace than he already is.
I would imagine, if I had to guess, that the ledge trapping would be big in a matchup like this, especially with a character who's long range, but that F smash is going to show, or the up smash will as well as Sephiroth right here for sure. Against a character like Roy, who's more like a designated like rushdown style character, like I mentioned earlier, plays a little bit more like Melee, but, you know, just without like the wet noodle as much as he has in the prior game. So if he just focuses really hard on making sure he's not at ledge when he doesn't have to be, is the dash attack actually going to send the other way right there? I thought for sure that would have been a pivot forward smash to kill right there, or a pivot F tilt, but nothing doing. The back there are going to actually launch to the other side of the stage from downtown. No balloon knockback here, ladies and gents.
Oh yeah, getting used to that knockback is going to be something, it's going to take some time, but for those watching and that have already picked up HDR, already know how that knockback works. It does give you some vibes of Smash 4, Melee, Brawl-esque type of knockback. However, I mean, it's such a sight to see. Right now, Max is down, but definitely fighting back and trying to keep himself alive. And Max seeded pretty high in this tournament, so for him to go down in winners, I believe it's round 1.
Yeah.
If this is winner round 1, this would be huge.
Yeah, Max definitely one of the higher seeds of the tournament for sure. Papaya is definitely not one to sleep on. I've seen some people in the chat talk about playing with this Falco or this Sephiroth before as well, but at the same time, this would definitely be one of the biggest upsets of the tournament so far if this is going to happen. And that down tilt, beautiful drift and DI away on the part of Max. But the second time at that higher percent, not going to be able to do it. The frame window a little bit different.
Yeah.
And there is the Ledge Hog, one stock away, Papaya, from taking down Max Ketchum and sending him to the loser's bracket very early on.
Max would definitely not be happy with this outcome. However, with a game like this, you never really know what to expect. You're going to see a beautiful smash attack. I believe that was down smash coming out from Max. Going to be able to seal the stock, send him to the heavens, and now we are one stock away. Max needs this stock if he wants to stay alive. Papaya just playing around with the space and using the good tools of Sephiroth, which is that aerial game. Oh no!
Oh no, that is not what you want to see early on in the bracket. Best of 3 sets here in the winner's side of pools, and that is Max Ketchum falling very early on in the bracket. That is that was not as seeded, I would imagine, if I'm not mistaken. I probably have to look at it again, but
It's
wow.
It's hard to seed people in a game that's fairly new. Yeah, like it's like we know who's good already. We know who's the top of the echelon, but then you have other players who are like on the grind as well.